Okay, while I'm exporting the first video, let me just show you my final project. I ended up calling this song Where You Want Me. The chorus idea was like, you got me where you want me. It's kind of cliche, but I feel like I toyed around with it a little bit. I like taking things that sound kind of like basic and going a different direction. I thought I did it pretty well with this one personally, but depends on the listener. I'm not as afraid. You should always be afraid of like being cliche, like saying something that's been said before, but like don't worry so much about using cliche to like tell a different story with it, because a lot of times like you hear something and you think you know what it's about, and it can be like a good like feint for what you're actually trying to say. And I think like a lot of artists do that well. Anyway, in the end, my project really did not have very many audio files, but it still sounds big, and a lot of it comes down to the way I produced it and like the things I used. I know I showed you like this like Chinese violin. I didn't change too much about it. But I have this really cool delay on it. And what I did is I sent it to a bus, which I've kind of explained before, and put this. I have this like iZotope delay. iZotope's the company that makes ozone and different tools. This is just like a simple delay thing. I got it for free because like iZotope is having like a giveaway, and I signed up. Anyway, I mean, like, it's like a basic delay plugin. This is going to be like the time of your delay, the feedback, so how many times it repeats. The trash thing in this one is just like distortion on the delay, because this is like a dynamic delay. So it's kind of emulating like an analog tape delay. And then your dry signal and wet signal. I don't know if we've gone into that. I can explain it more in class, but basically dry signal is like what's coming in, wet's what's going out. When you're working with a bus, you don't really want any dry because like you already have the dry signal in your channel strip. So that's the delay that's on that instrument. And then I just like put, I think, an electric guitar compressor, because it has kind of an electric vibe. I wanted to harness some of that with the track with the compression on it. And then in EQ, it's super pared down. I just made sure I got out of the way the vocal, which was going to be in this area during the chorus, so I brought it down a significant amount, just because this violin is basically, you can see, only in like the choruses. It's right here, right here, and right here. I have 3 choruses, and in that intro. So I was like, the most important thing for this violin is to get out of the way of the vocals so that you can still hear the violin, but there's plenty of room for the vocal track. And then I boosted it in like 5K to still bring out and down here. The main thing I did is get out of the way of the vocals. With my drums, I showed you the sample delay. I didn't do much on the EQ for the shaker. The drum kit, yeah, again, just getting out of the way of the vocals, getting rid of the bass a little bit so that the kit can really take over there. And then for compression, I use this like classic drums preset. It's pretty easy, chill compressor. I didn't want to compress it too much because it's already compressed, because it's a loop. With this snare, I ended up doing a lot with the EQ because like it has these like really annoying, like distorted, like beeps like high up. So I got rid of those with these like little notches. And then I also got out of the way of the vocal as you can see, like, that was kind of the defining thing, getting out of the way of the bass, getting out of the way of the vocal, because those are like the most important elements here. You didn't get to hear any of the vocal in the other track. Take a listen. It's super dry. I put a lot of pitch correction on it, and I also sang really quietly close into the mic, so it has this like whispered vibe to it.
I know how to treat my baby right. I don't leave her wanting, or else she'd find a different guy.
It's got a lot of like mouth noises, which is like not huge for me. I don't enjoy it, but here I'm fine with it because a lot of it gets lost with the other elements of the production. As you can see, I have the pitch correction. It's down all the way. G minor. The EQ on the vocal, I got rid of like basically all the bass and then boosted in that area where I cut everything else. So not much EQ on the vocal except for this low cut. And I could have done low cut with single band EQ, and if I'd done that, this would have just looked like this, which is super easy for a vocal. And then the vocal compressor I use is a vintage vocal. It's kind of a harder threshold. Like a vocal ratio is like 3-1, 4-1 is probably good. Didn't think too much about it just because I use the same one every time. And then I have these like little backing vocals. These have a bit of reverb. That's basically the only thing about them. I sang kind of farther away from the mic so that you couldn't really hear it. It just adds like character, I guess.
I know how to treat my baby right. I don't leave her wanting, or else she'd find a different guy.
So it just adds like a bit of depth. But here's how the verse ended up sounding.
I know how to treat my baby right. I don't leave her wanting, or else she'd find a different guy. I appreciate the way her body moves. She knows she's in control when we're alone in the room. I know I'm not the only one who looks at her and thinks she's the one. She knows that I can give her what she needs. That's when I tell her, baby, please.
So, I can't tell you to write lyrics. I kind of have a particular way of doing it. I kind of have like an identifiable like lyrical style, I guess. But I mean, like, you just got to talk about like things that matter to you, things that you like identify with. Here I'm trying to like, I was trying to write a song that was like pro woman, like feminist, but not get like, it's easy for like men to like co-opt like the feminist thing and like pretend like it's about them. I really was trying to write a song that's like about like this woman that I'm talking to, still from like my perspective, but like telling a story about her. So I don't know, it's just what I got out of it once I wrote the chorus, because I didn't want to do like a scary song, you know, because like it's you got me where you want me. Like it could be like, oh, I'm caught like red-handed, you know, like I didn't really want to be negative. I wanted to write a song that's like happy, but like with this like dark vibe in the track. I think I love like juxtaposition in songs, so like the fact that it's like a dark, like kind of like ominous song, and then the lyrics are kind of just like describing like this like really good relationship, I thought was like cool. So that's just like a little bit about the lyrics of the track. More on the production, I wanted to talk about the bass and the kick. Now sitting here, I'm thinking about something I could do just to bring in the kick a bit more. I'm just gonna, you know, I don't even have a compressor. I just have this limiter on the, I don't want to like mess up like what I had because it was sounding really cool. But let's see if I can like bring it in. I'm just gonna bring in this kick. So what I was just doing was like side chaining the kick into the bass. I don't know if I'm gonna stick with it. I mean, I was just thinking like I meant to do that and I didn't, but I definitely EQ'd them. EQ'd them a little differently. The kick, this is like that lower kick. I tried to lower under 100 hertz and then bring it up above that, and then bring it down basically above like 7K, I think. And then this one, I did a similar thing, but then I also brought it down because like it has that like mid-range, and I didn't want it to get in the way of the vocal, but I brought it back up so that I still had like some highs up here. So mixing bass and kick together is always like a little bit of a tug of war. It's always going to be different. You're always going to have to like try different things to get it to click together. I could use like, I have this like Neutron Track Assistant. I used it on, I think, the kick, and I had this like the kicks, and I think it was like reacting weird with this like high piano I have in the second verse. So I did like the Track Assistant in Neutron, which I still haven't figured out like what it, I mean, it's like just editing like the EQ and the compression to like fit stuff in pockets. But you haven't really heard the chorus yet, so I'm just going to play it through, and then hopefully you'll be able to kind of hear like what I was trying to do, how I was trying to sculpt it.
You got me where you got me where you got me, you got me where you want me, you got me where you got me where you got me where you got me, you got me where you want me, you got me where you want me, where you.
So I came up with this like percussive type like hook. You got me where you got me where you got me, you got me where you want me, you got me where you. It's like percussive. The gots come at the same time as the snare, if you listen.
You got me where you got me where you got me, you got me where you want me, you got me where you got.
Which I liked. The way I like designed it is I wanted to fill all of the space except for that like range from like 750 hertz to 2K where the vocal was sitting. So this is where I brought in the drum that originally inspired me to create the track. And then the vocals fit in nicely, the little poppy.
You got me where you got me where you got me where you got me, you got me where you want me, you got me where you.
I thought it worked out well. Still working on it, but I have like a finished like demo version that I'm probably gonna listen to figure out like what else needs to be changed. Like I'm probably still gonna work on the kick and the bass and the chorus. But I mean that's kind of what it turned out to be. See, it's not really that different from like where I started which didn't take me too long. It's just like figuring out like what you want to talk about and then like finding elements that really like work with like that, like what you're trying to say. I know I like added this like higher piano to kind of like add to the ominousness, to add like more percussive qualities. I have this like swooping like string in the final chorus. That I still have to mess around with to kind of like get the right quality to it. I added like more harmonies in the last chorus.
You got me where you got me where you got me, you got me where you want me, you got me where you got me where you got me where you got me.
I really just wanted the chorus to sound like more robotic and have like really expressive verses.
I don't play games now that I'm her guy. It only takes one mistake for her to say goodbye.
But the last part I want to talk about in this video is just what clinched me on like working on this project is when I came up with this like kind of like ending outro part. I think it sounds super cool. I'll play it out of the chorus. It just like keeps the energy going, but you can feel the song kind of coming down. It's kind of like a cool down at the very end. I think it works out.
You got me where you got me where you got me, you got me where you want me, you got me where you want me, where you want me, where you want me, where you.
So that's where you want me. Thanks for listening. I'll see you guys on Saturday.